Okay, welcome everyone to the Board of Directors meeting of the Environmental Facilities Corporation. It is Thursday, the 17th of April, 11:35. Can I have roll call, please?
Chair Stefanko,
Here.
Director Leary,
Here.
Director Corcoran.
Here.
Director Krasansky.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. Just a few folks today, but we will manage. So due to the absence of a few directors, Directors Westerman, Zarowski, and DeMarco today, and Director Krasansky's absence at the last March 13th meeting, we do not have a quorum for the minutes. So I'm going to call for a motion and a second and a vote to postpone approval of those minutes until the May meeting, which is on the 22nd. Could I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Jim and Francis, thank you. Any discussion on that front? Excellent. All those in favor of postponing the minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Great.
And because we don't have a quorum today, also we're not having the audit committee meeting, but we're working on scheduling that, and that will be, for folks who want to know, that will be posted on our website when that is scheduled.
Great. That was unanimous vote. I don't have anything to report. Hopefully spring is finally here. Madam President.
A couple things. The application period closed for our EPG and GIGPs on Friday at 5 p.m. We had 85, we received 85 EPG applications for $3 million available, and 38 GIGP applications were received by the deadline of 5 p.m. We're strict with that. 8 applications were found to be incomplete. We think that's the final number. So we've got 30 that are complete. 23 for water efficiency, 14 for green stormwater infrastructure. And $15 million available for GIGP, and of the complete applications, the 30 complete applications, there was 42,491,753 and 12 cents. I don't know how many cents total requested. And it's a pretty good regional breakdown of applications received. We were going to the CFA, Council of Financing Authorities, next week. It'll be Emily, Mike, myself, and Bill, and should be a good one with the new administration. We'll be getting a national outlook on the future of water infrastructure from Jessica Kramer, who's the senior advisor to EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin and the nominee for EPA Assistant Administrator for the Office of Water. So we'll also be talking some plenary sessions on cybersecurity, affordability, and so it should be a good time next week. Busy. It's always busy, but some good things to learn. And this year also, every year at the summit in DC, they announced Pisces and Aquarius awards. Pisces for clean water, Aquarius for drinking water, for excellence in water infrastructure projects. And a project in New York is getting a Pisces award in Chemung County. So they're getting the award for innovation and financing, and their folks will actually be going to DC to accept that award. So Bill, a little bit about the project.
It's about a $270 million project. They needed to accomplish a few different goals. They had to upgrade to meet stricter nitrogen and phosphorus limits for New York's part of addressing Chesapeake Bay requirements. They also had issues with aging infrastructure and sanitary sewer overflows. So they decided to combine their 2 wastewater treatment plants into one larger plant. Like I said, it's about a $270 million project. We are providing $25 million in WIA grant, $25 million in Bill grant. They've also got $10 million from DEC, a WQIP grant, and $1 million EPA community grant, and a $150,000 grant from Appalachian Regional Commission, along with $25 million in hardship financing and the rest of it, EFC. It's leveraged financing. So their construction's underway and they expect to have the consolidation completed in September of 2026.
So nice to see a consolidation. Facilities. And then last but not least, on Tuesday, some of us went down to Mount Vernon in Westchester County. I think we've spoken about Mount Vernon before. Several years ago, the board approved $5 million in capacity funding. $2 million was provided to Mount Vernon, and they made good use of that to help. They had some capacity issues with staffing and technical assistance and getting an engineer to kind of help them. And they've got a new mayor a couple years ago now, but Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, who's been fantastic in leading the city. So about 3 years ago, just about 3 years ago now, the mayor, EPA, we all went down there and there was an announcement of 150 million commitment to invest in the city. After decades of disinvestment, their sewer system was in crisis. They had state consent order, EPA consent order, and since then, just so much progress has been made. We'll continue to make tons of progress. A lot more to do, but a lot has been done. And so Tuesday was just a great event with the mayor, county executive Ken Jenkins, Representative George Latimer, and importantly, so much staff that was the mayor called up that are doing the work on the ground. And then we had Acting Commissioner Amanda Lepton, myself, and the HCR representative. And they've done tons of sewer work, tons of miles of sewer work. They used to have hundreds of sewer backups, and last year they had 51, which, maybe 51 sounds like a lot, but it's significantly less than it was. HCR's installed backflow, systems so that folks aren't getting the sewage backups that they used to get every time it flooded. And Mrs. O'Neill, who was she was just kind of the poster child for like, this is how bad it is, was there with a big, huge grin on her face because she's so happy that she don't have to worry when it's raining that her basement is going to be flooded with sewage. We're working with New City Parks. They've got a community recreation area that's gonna have green stormwater infrastructure, which will help water quality in the Hutchinson River, but also just beautify a park that is used for basketball. And there's just so much going on. Lead pipe work has been done. Lots of lead pipes have been investigated and remediated, and all of that work is continuing to happen. So it was a very celebratory event, very hopeful, and it was a great event. And so looking forward to going down and celebrating the breaking ground on the GIGP project. They're going to be, I know New City's putting in, they said, additional applications for like GRG funding the next round. And so they're making the most of, I think, the money that has been made available to them. They've got additional money. They got the GIGP funding, additional WQIP money from DEC. So it's just, it was a great event. So we have been working hard. It's a great example of partnership between the city, the county, number of state agencies, and it's, as George Latimer very loudly and with enthusiasm said, it's the way government should work, as opposed to where he has to work now. And so he's going to bring it back to the folks he works with and explain this is how public service should work. So it was a very nice event.
Thanks for telling us that. That's great.
Yeah, very nice.
It's awesome.
Success story.
So,
Yeah.
yes, it's great.
That's
all I
awesome.
got.
Thank you. Thanks. No committees, as President Coleman mentioned, audit, we're gonna bump it to May. No unfinished business unless anyone wants to bring anything up, so we will move to our short resolution list. Resolution number 1.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible drinking water projects from funds appropriated for water infrastructure improvement projects.
Connor, do I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll make the second to James's motion, Chairman.
I'll
Thank you,
move.
Jim. Francis, Dave Phillips will be presenting.
Hey, thank you. We have 9 drinking water projects today. First one is for the village of Clayton in Jefferson County. This is for a WIA grant and a short-term market rate financing. The project includes replacement of the raw water intake, which the existing intake is old and deteriorated, has been subject to leakage. The project also includes replacement of 25,000 linear feet of undersized and aged distribution mains throughout the system that have experienced significant leaks and breaks. Next project is the town of Diana in Lewis County. This project will receive a WIA grant, short-term interest-free financing, and short-term market rate financing. Project includes improvements at existing wells 1 and 3. That work includes new well pumps and a new treatment facility. This well work will allow for continued reliable operation of well number 3 and will allow the town to put well number 1 back into service as a redundant source. This well had been taken out of service due to inoperable pumps and equipment. The project also includes a new 350,000 gallon storage tank, which will be placed at an elevation to provide adequate fire flow and pressure. It includes installation of new water mains to loop dead ends, which will improve flow and pressure. And the overall project also includes new service meters, which is funded separately through GIGP. Next is the village of Fonda in Montgomery County. This is for a maturity extension. The overall project includes work at the raw water reservoir and intake, includes improvements at the treatment plant for the filters, piping, valves, and pumps. It includes a new SCADA system and distribution system and storage upgrades. This is an extension to December 2026 to allow time to complete the distribution and storage portion of the project. Next is the village of Malone in Franklin County. This is for a WIA grant and a short-term market rate financing. The main objective of this project is installation of a new 3rd groundwater well for redundancy. This will address deficiency and provide adequate source capacity and address the redundancy issue. This also includes a new 5,300 linear foot transmission main to connect the new well to the existing treatment plant, a new well house, a new raw water storage tank, and upgraded controls. The project also includes new meters to replace aged existing meters. Next is the village of Mayville in Chautauqua County. This is for an IIJA general supplemental grant and a short-term interest-free financing. The village is looking to develop a new groundwater source to replace an existing source they have that's contaminated with PFAS. They're going to prioritize groundwater development, but if that's unsuccessful, then they will install treatment to remove PFAS from the existing well. The village needs either that new well or they need the existing well to be of acceptable water quality in order to address the New York State Sanitary Code violation for lack of adequate source capacity. The project also includes replacement 26,000 linear feet of aged and deteriorated water mains. Next project is the village of Mexico in Oswego County. This is for a WIA grant. This project is for installation of 60,000 linear feet of new water mains and appurtenances, including hydrants, valves, and service meters, to provide public water to 172 residences in a mobile home park in the new water service area number 6. These users currently rely on insufficient and contaminated private wells. Next is the city of Plattsburgh in Clinton County. This is for a WIA grant and an IIJA general supplemental grant. This project is for phase 2 improvements. It includes a new groundwater source and associated electrical supply. It includes upgrades to the existing treatment plant electrical system and replacement of asbestos cement piping throughout the distribution system. The groundwater source development is needed to address source capacity issues. The city's main source of water is a surface reservoir called Mead Reservoir, but due to an unsafe dam there, the city has been forced to operate at a significantly reduced capacity. So they need to develop new groundwater sources, and the new groundwater source will also help to address elevated disinfection byproducts. Next is the town of Roxbury in Delaware County. This is for a time extension. It includes upgrades to the Roxbury and Grand Gorge water districts, which includes source, treatment, and distribution upgrades. This will be extended to December 2027, which is needed due to delays due to a new well development, COVID-related supply chain delays, and land acquisition issues. Finally, the last project is the town of Verona in Oneida County. This is an amendment for an increase in funding. The project is for installation of 102,000 linear feet of water main and appurtenances. And it also includes a new interconnection with the city of Rome. And it includes extension of the water district to include and serve 460 new connections, as well as the Oneida Indian Nation properties. This amendment is needed to provide additional funding to cover increased costs that were due to supply chain issues resulting from COVID. And also, they had to do a complete redesign of the Erie Canal crossing because the crossing as designed actually failed when they attempted it. That's it. Any questions?
I have a couple.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. The IIJA, what does that stand for? Just remind me.
Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021.
Got it.
Formerly known as Bill or
Got it.
Spill.
Oh, formula, got it. Thanks. And then the Mexico, sort of a mobile home community. So the town came in and said, let's do this area, including the mobile homes?
Yeah, so the mobile home park is it's a public water system on its own currently. So that'll be consolidated, and then the project will also serve residential properties that are on private wells.
And then it didn't mention meters, so it looks like, and again, it's a mobile home park, so maybe they don't have meters and maybe you don't put meters in there.
Typically, though, the mobile home park would have 1 meter
Right.
because it's one connection.
That's right.
But the residences will have residential meters.
Right,
Outside of the mobile home park.
exactly.
Yeah.
Great,
Okay.
that's good.
Anything else for Dave? Okay, all those in favor of ID number 1?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
unanimous. ID number 2.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible clean water projects from funds appropriated for clean water infrastructure projects.
Connor, could I have a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion.
Thanks, Charlie. But a second.
Second.
James, thank you. Bill Brazell will present.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Today we have 10 clean water projects before the board for approval. We'll start off with the short-term financing for the town of Chazy in Clinton County. Town has a treatment plant permitted to discharge 85,000 gallons per day. They're required to implement effluent disinfection seasonally, May 1st to October 1st. In addition to the UV disinfection system, the project also includes improvements to replace aged equipment and mitigate the impact of freezing temperatures, such as covering an equalization tank and digester tanks. This project was supported with the engineering planning grants in 2014 and 2016. They've got in addition to the financing, they have a WIA grant from us. Construction is expected to start in June and be complete in 2027. Next, we have a long-term financing for the town of Cheektowaga in Erie County. The town's sanitary sewage collection system conveys wastewater to Buffalo Sewer Authority's wastewater treatment plant. The town has had significant inflow and infiltration issues that have resulted in sanitary sewer overflows. And they're under consent order to rehabilitate the sanitary sewer system and mitigate the sanitary sewer overflows. The project included lining over 370,000 linear feet of sanitary sewer and rehabilitation of over 1,400 manholes. The project was supported with an engineering planning grant in 2015. Construction took place in numerous phases between 2018 and 2024. They had also received a WIA grant from back in 2015. Next, we have the town of Irwin, a short-term financing for the town of Irwin in Steuben County. The town has a 1.75 million gallon per day treatment plant, and they, in addition to the town sewer district, they accept sewage from the village of Addison and the town of Campbell. So they are expanding their collection system further and adding collection sewers into areas with failing septic systems. Also going to upgrade their treatment plant to rehabilitate or replace equipment that has reached the end of its useful life. The equipment will be upgraded or replaced in 2 phases. Phase 2 will include the extension of the collection system, about 7,700 linear feet of gravity sewer, 1,100 feet of force main, and 2 pump stations. This project also had an engineering planning grant from 2020, and they have a 2023 WIA grant. Construction is expected to start this spring and be complete in early 2027. Next, we have a short-term financing for the village of Lyons Falls in Lewis County. Lyons Falls is being required to implement seasonal disinfection for their 72,000 gallon per day wastewater treatment plant. No significant improvements have been made to the treatment plant since it was constructed about 20 years ago. They're under consent order for CBOD and total suspended solids at the treatment plant. Proposed project includes construction of a new ultraviolet disinfection system, rehabilitation of the existing septic tanks and trickling filters, addition of a 6th trickling filter, and other associated site improvements. They have a WIA grant from 2023, and this project was supported with an engineering planning grant from 2019. Construction is expected to start in June of this year and be complete in June of 2026. Next, we have another short-term financing. This is for the village of Naples in Ontario County. The village has a 50,000 gallon per day treatment plant that serves the downtown corridor of the village. This project was completed in 2021 and had been financed through the SRF as an earlier project. At the time, it was not feasible to provide public sewers to all village residents. This project extends the collection system to serve additional residential areas and doubles the treatment plant capacity to 100,000 gallons per day. They're going to remove an additional 301 septic systems from service. Project will include over 22,000 feet of new sewers being installed and 5 pump stations. This project had a planning grant from 2019. They've done very well with the grants here. They've got a WIA grant and also SRF and IIJA grant, paying for over 90% of the project. Construction is expected to start in November of this year and be complete in 2027. Next, we have a short-term financing for the city of Port Jervis in Orange County. Port Jervis has a sanitary collection system that discharges to a treatment plant that is owned by New York City. Port Jervis has committed to a phased plan to rehabilitate their sewers to reduce inflow and infiltration. They're planning to line, repair, or replace approximately 123,000 linear feet of collection sewer and 500 manholes. The project also includes replacing nearly 2,500 obsolete water meters with advanced water metering equipment to detect leaks. This is, we fund water meters through GHP program. It's also eligible through the base program, as studies have shown that when residents have water meters, they use less water, which results in less water going into the sewer system. So it's eligible as clean water work. This project has both WIA grant and IIJA grant. And construction started last July and is expected to be complete in 2028. Next, we have a short-term financing for the village of Sylvan Beach in Oneida County. The village has a 2 million gallon per day treatment plant known as the East Oneida Lake Water Pollution Control Plant. The facility was constructed in the 1970s and serves not only the village, but also areas of the towns of Sullivan, Lenox, Verona, and Vienna, and Verona Beach State Park. They're addressing a consent order from DEC and they're going to upgrade their secondary treatment facilities by converting to a sequencing batch reactor system, also doing solids handling improvements and a new SCADA system. This project has a IMG grant along with the WQIP grant from DEC. Construction started in 2024 and is expected to be complete in 2026. Next, we have two short-term financings for two different projects in the town of Thompson and Sullivan County. First, the town of Thompson's Emerald Green Sewer District has a collection system that is 40 years old and is in need of upgrade. Through this project, they're going to replace or upgrade pump stations in the collection system, along with replacement of about 3,500 linear feet of force main. The project was supported with an engineering planning grant from 2021, and it includes a WIA grant. Construction is expected to start this coming November and be complete in late 2026. The second financing for Thompson is for the Sackett Lake Sewer District. The district serves the area around Sackett Lake and has a 500,000 gallon per day wastewater treatment plant. The town has a consent order requiring them to reduce I&I in their collection system. They're going to replace about 1,600 linear feet of gravity sewer and line about 4,600 linear feet of sewer. This project had an engineering planning grant from 2018, and it also includes an IIJA grant. Construction is expected to start in October of 2025 and be complete in the summer of 2026. And finally, we have a long-term financing for the village of Waterville in Oneida County. The village has a 300,000 gallon per day wastewater treatment plant constructed in 1969. Many of the systems or components are in need of replacement. Additionally, the speedies permit was modified to require seasonal disinfection. They're adding ultraviolet disinfection and upgrading the treatment plant and also doing some work on manholes in the collection system. This has a WIA grant that had been provided back in 2017. Construction was complete in 2024 on this project. Any questions?
Just a couple, one real basic one. The intermunicipal money, where does that come? Is that a separate amount or just it makes you more eligible or eligible for just normal funding? Is there a separate place to go for intermunicipal?
It's the same application as WIA.
It's the same application, but
It gives you more points or?
you're eligible for a different process, but when we announce money that's available for WIA grants and IMG, it's one big pot, and then we kind of look at what
There's no
applications come in.
separate pot.
No,
Oh.
no, they're different statutes,
Yeah.
so there's eligibility is different, but we go out with one big pot. Yes, because some projects
Great, that works.
we look at, maybe they do better under WIA than IMG or whatever, so, and we look at the applications that come in and we determine how much should go to WIA, clean water and drinking water, and how much should go to IMG. Thank you.
WIA, how much is available? I mean, like sort of still able to go out the door about, do we know? Over the, over the last
Able to go out, well,
2 years after the appropriations, bunch has been committed, lots spent, how much is still available?
available, it varies,
Yeah.
it's not a lot, and when you say available, all it is if folks, for some reason, it doesn't happen often, if the projects come in less, or if they withdraw from their grant because they're not gonna move forward, or the terms change and they wanna come back in and recompete, because maybe we'll get more money in another round. Some money comes back to the program, but we get a new round of funding each year.
So of all the rounds that have been, appropriated, almost all of that has been at least
Awarded,
awarded?
yes. Yep, everything has been awarded. We just,
You don't know what the,
and then that money comes back, but then we reuse that money.
right,
So that doesn't grow and grow and grow, the money that gets
right,
just given back to the program.
okay.
So if we have 250 to spend one year and we've gotten 13 back, we'll have 263 that year.
Thank you.
Anything else for Bill? Okay. All those in favor of item number 2? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Any new business before we adjourn? Okay. The next meeting will be Thursday, May 22nd at noon, preceded by Finance at 10:30 and Governance Committee at 11. And audit, correct?
No, audit we're going to do as soon as we can schedule.
Okay, wonderful. My bad.
And we will post that on the website.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll take a motion and a second for adjournment.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Charlie.
Second,
Francis, thank you. All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
unanimous. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks.
you
Thank
will.
you very much.
Great
Thanks, everybody,
weekend.
for your work.